Kerry Hamill from 6 Saturdays a Week, and today we're testing out the RX-8 by Hoyt. So they have two offerings in this. It's the RX-8, which is a 30 inches axle to axle, 342 feet per second, 6 1/8 inch brace height. It'll adjust out from I think 25.5 inches to 30 inches, and you can get it in the different draw weights from 45 pounds all the way up to 80 pounds in 10-pound increments. So with that being said, I mean, I love this new color. The Tombstone is a beautiful gray color on this bow. Weighs in around 4 pounds. Looks pretty nice. I like it. First impressions, the new cam. So this is the HBX exact cam. And with this one, you can make 1/4 inch draw length adjustments. And you can go from 75 to 90 pounds of let off change. And you can also change the feel from an extreme hard back wall to just a regular back wall. So we're going to get out and shoot this thing in just a second. It has the dovetail mount for your rest and Picatinny rail mount for a sight. You know, it's got the integrated pieces for your 2-piece quiver and your back bar. And that is a drawback to this is you do not have a normal bushing for back bar mount. You have to use the Hoyt adapter to go in here. Not real keen on that when the manufacturer makes something very specific to themselves. But something else new on this bow is I think what a podium marketer called this is the nipple of destiny, and it's just meant for your bow to be able to use the new go sticks and this protrusion, and it keeps the string and cam out of the dirt. So also new to this bow, the new from the RX-7 is got a wider limb pocket. So a little bit wider stance on this, and maybe a little bit more forgiving on the hole, a little bit more stable. So let's go outside. Let's take some shots with this thing. Stay tuned. We're out here on the home range, getting ready to start shooting the RX-8 from Hoyt. And again, we're going to be shooting these Centrums by Ultra Arrows. These are the 166.001 arrows. They weigh in around 448 grains. And enough yapping, let's start shooting. Woo. What I like about this draw is you feel all the stiffness up front. So it's kind of like, you know, when you go into the gym, I guess ergonomically or physically, you start pulling that initial pull, and then the hardest part would be when you completely contract your muscles. But so the weight is where it would be the easiest at the beginning of the pull, and then it just glides back into the back wall. It's a solid back wall, and there's just no dump off. If you watch the Bear, there was, you know, the Bear Persist video, there was just a little bit of a dump off into the valley where the bow kind of just slammed into the back wall, and this bow does not do that. Really like the draw cycle on this. Finally found my happy spot with this grip. It's a good grip. I like it. It's more textured than the Bear, which has been my knock on the Bear and the Bowtechs the last 2 years. They don't texture their grips, so they like to move around in your hand, especially when you start building up a little sweat. But this Hoyt grip is pretty comfortable, and it's pretty repeatable as well. The next shots we do, I tried the vibe meter again. I think it gets a little bit better hookup on this bow than it did for the Bear. So we'll see. But hold tight. All right, so let's walk down and check that first group. Remember, there's no peep in this. No peep. I don't even have a booger button on it this time to set an anchor point. So I'm just using my True Fire centerline as an anchor point in my jaw, and nose touching the string. And that's how I'm anchoring and using I got a little 5-pin spot hog on it, on that bow. And this is how I'm setting it up just for these tests, because I want to see how repeatable the shot's going to be without influence from everything else. So hang on one second. All right, there's the group. And I'll tell you, I mean, it took me It took me a couple shots to kind of settle in with the grip again because I've been shooting my elites to get ready for hunting this afternoon. So I think other than that one flyer up there, pretty solid group at 23, no peep, no anchors, no, you know, solid anchor points, just me shooting off the string with my release in my jaw. So stay tuned, we'll do the vibe testing and see if we can tighten that up just a little bit. All right, do a little vibration testing on this RX-8. It's at 76.47. $66.5. See, this is where I stopped trusting this thing because it you have a couple that are pretty close, and then that one just jumps off the chart. 51. Final shot. Oh. I don't know if you can see that, but that first group, I actually shot one of the fletchings off. They were so close. So there's 3 of them that were packed in there pretty tight, and that was one of them. So. Yay for me. All right, final shot for vibration testing. I'm not really worried about this group because I've been trying to make sure I stay close enough to the vibe meter that I don't pull off the sensor. And my attention's been split in several directions because of that. 81. So, all right, so we're going to try one more group with the RX-8. A couple flyers, but one group's pretty tight. I know, I could do better. Look at that. One of these doesn't have a fletching, so I'll take it. It's a solid shoot. Solid shooting little bow. All right, so final thoughts on the Hoyt RX-8. So I really like this bow. It's a fantastic stud of a bow from Hoyt, which is typical for what you expect from them. The RX-8, the draw, I really liked it. I think I commented earlier, you get over the first hump and it's a nice, consistent, even draw all the way back to the back wall, which is, you know, you're selectable. You can go hard or extra hard. It's a very firm back wall. It's solid. And then the whole, you know, take into consideration, it's a 4-pound bow that has absolutely no weight on it, you know, respectively speaking. So, you know, you just got a whisker biscuit and a very basic 5-pin sight. So there's no stabilizers on it other than the little knobby thing that Hoyt puts out with it. But got to take that into consideration because it's 4 pounds, so it floats a little bit more than if I'd had, you know, a 10 or 12-inch stabilizer on it. Would slow it down, and the accessories were a little bit heavier. So fantastic draw. The hold, you know, once it's stabilized, it'll hold really well. It didn't, you know, it hasn't held as well as some of the heavier bows that I've shot, but it did a fantastic job. As far as the grip, some people will disagree with me. They won't like the Hoyt grip, you know, the rubberized, a little bit bulkier grip, kind of like the Matthews grip. Not quite as bulky as the Bear grip, but it's a little bit bulky, which I happen to like. I like the Matthews grip, and I found it to be very repeatable. I thought the groups, considering there's no peep in the string, there's no anchor points on it, I was just using this string to feel my nose, you know, so my nose would have a reference point, but I didn't have the same solid anchor point I have in other bows where I had a booger button on there. So if you put that booger button on there, those groups would probably tighten up a little bit. So it'd have been even better. But, you know, I do the test without my peep sight, and for the simple fact that's how I shoot my hunting bows. But I also want to see how repeatable I can be without all the advantages that you would get from, you know, the heavier or better sight and rest combo with a stabilizer and a peep in. Without all those advantages, how good of a bow is it? How repeatable is it? And I think the group showed that it's pretty repeatable. Knocked a fletching off one of my arrows. So got a good draw cycle, good hold, Actually, I'll back that up. It's got a great draw cycle, a good hold. The aftershock, you get a little bit of jump, but again, that'll tame down once you put heavier accessories and stabilizers on it. The fit and finish on this bow is great. This tombstone gray looks amazing. I really like it. I wish they'd rename it as aircraft gray, you know, being that I'm a aircraft kind of guy. Oh, took my patch off. Stupid me. But anyway, I really like the adjustable let off. So right now this thing is set at 85%. I shot it yesterday at 75, and it shot really well that way too. I actually preferred it that way. But I think that's an advantage, that if you're in the market between this and other bows, the Hoyt, you know, you can fine tune your draw length 1/4 inches, you know, in 1/4 inch increments, and you can go from 75 to 90%, and from hard to extreme hard back wall with your mod changes. So I think it's an excellent offering from Hoyt. I can't speak to the widened limbs, the wider limb pockets, if that helped anything as far as being more stable on the shot. I don't know. I don't own an RX-7, so I can't tell you that. But this is a great bow, and if you're a fan of Hoyt and you're in the market for one, you need to go shoot it, test it out for yourself. Don't just take my word for it or somebody else's word. I mean, all of these reviews are subjective. So this is, you know, what I like in a bow and how I shoot it. You may feel completely different. Remember, I'm not spending your $1,700 or your $1,900, depending on which model you want to get. If it was my money, I would go with the Ultra, because I just felt like the Ultra was a lot more dead on the shot. It was a little bit easier to draw. Of course, you're going to give about 10 feet per second. But the aftershock, when you turn it loose, the Ultra does not want to jump at all. Of course, you're gonna add, you know, 3 inches to the axle length, and you're gonna gain, I think, 4/10 of a pound. So there's that. But this particular bow, the RX-8, if I can get that right. There you go. The RX-8 is a fantastic bow. You can't go wrong with it. If you're in Eastern North Carolina, the best little bow shop in Eastern North Carolina is Eastern Outfitters, and it's managed by Ryan and Cody, and they help me out with all of these tests. They set the bows up for me. They make sure they're tuned and ready to go. And any questions, you know, because I'm one of those people, I will question you to death. They take the time to answer all my questions to help me out. So go see Ryan and Cody if you're interested in one of these. But I'll tell you, you need to get down to Eastern Outfitters if you want one of these, because they've been selling these and the Matthews hand over fist. Matter of fact, I had to beg, borrow, steal to get this thing out of the shop for 24 hours so I could do my reviews, because they had customers calling while I was sitting in the shop shooting it there. So I'd like to say thanks to everybody that's been watching these. Please like, subscribe, comment. Leave us any suggestions on other things you'd like to see in a video. And again, God bless, stay safe, stay strapped to your tree. Your family wants you to come back, and we'll see you again with the next review.